Hey, what's up guys, it's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's video we are looking at a community replay. In this community replay, we are looking at a replay from Fab1010, or 1010, and he is playing in the Scharnhorst with the very nice camouflage, the Arctic camouflage to be exact. And my god, look at this. This looks absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, I was not able to get this camo, so I'm very jealous actually of you, Fab, because this looks incredible. Nonetheless, though, we are going to be looking at this replay. If you'd like to send us a replay, please send it to BIAworldofwarships@gmail.com. Please include, obviously, the replay itself, as well as the post-battle results as well. With that said, let's get into the replay. So, the Scharnhorst, it is a Tier 7 premium German battleship. Now, a couple things that are great about the Scharnhorst. One, it gets these nice German torpedoes. I say nice just because most battleships don't get torpedoes on a battleship. So, that is always a perk. And they are 6 kilometers, so they are great for brawling. And, of course, that is what German battleships do excel at. So, hopefully we'll be seeing some good brawling action here. And also another good thing about the Scharnhorst is that while it does have quite a bit of HP for a Tier 7 battleship, 56,000, it is more of a cruiser in that respect. The only things that are battleship-esque are, of course, the guns are a little bit a higher caliber. They are 11 inches, and you get 9 of them. And then, obviously, the hit points and the armor is more battleship-esque. Now, of course, the armor, if you're going to compare this to something like Gneisenau, it's pretty similar. But something like a Tier 7 battleship like the Colorado, the armor does, you can see some differences in the armor design between the American battleships and this battle cruiser. And I think that's a good way to play the Scharnhorst, honestly. It's one of those ships that it can't brawl with other battleships as well, but it can do immense damage to, pardon me, cruisers. Not saying that battleships in general can't do substantial damage to cruisers, but that's what this ship was designed to do, and it was designed to keep up with cruisers and of course take them out. So, with that said, I think there's a reason why the Scharnhorst is so maneuverable, and I think it lends itself to be able to be played kind of like a battleship, but I think it's more and better played as a cruiser, as a heavy cruiser. So most of the time you want your battleships to be tanking a lot, and of course the cruisers, especially at these lower tiers, should be kind of more passive and sitting in the back a little bit more because they don't have the heel. At Tier 10 and Tier 9, you can be much more aggressive because you have the heel and you've got substantial armor to bounce higher tier and higher caliber guns. But with this said, the Scharnhorst does have a heel and does have battleship armor, so you can be an aggressive cruiser player, and this is why I think I like the ship so much, is because you can be the aggressive cruiser player. So I just want to point out, first mistake, at least that I've seen in this replay, is if you have a double fire, either choose one. Choose your repair party or choose your damage control party. One or the other. Now, since you are pretty far out, I mean, we got the spotter plane up, we're at 17 kilometers, we're taking absolutely no focus whatsoever. You could either let those 2 fires burn or just hit your damage control. I would probably hit my damage control and save my heal. However, I'm just, for future reference. Now, I did watch this replay in advance, of course, and I do think that, Fab, you are a pretty good player, and I think maybe you know better, but just to help you out a little bit. Because, of course, a second set of eyes on another replay is never a bad idea. So, we're looking at this Gasoline, or Glacianer, who is reversing and is spotted. And we hopefully will get a Citadel. Let's see. 3 pens for 5k, and that is something that is a bit frustrating sometimes with the Scharnhorst. Sometimes you get these really nice salvos that have pretty good dispersion, and they only do pens or overpens, and since they are 11 inches, the overpens don't do as much damage, the normal pens don't do as much damage, but when you do get those citadels, like they're nice 10k salvos, it makes you feel like a cruiser. But of course, you still have a lot more armor and HP, so you know, you just have this nice flexibility to do kind of both roles, which is of course very, very nice. So DD pops up here. I'm gonna be taking a shot at him. Surprised that he is actually spotted here. Presumably the spotter plane just spotted him. We get 2 nice overpens, and we're gonna fall back. So again, positionally wise, you know, I think this is a good play. A lot of times battleships will, and this is typically what I like to do if I ever play this map on the south spawn. I'll usually go like this on the mini map, pretty much exactly what Fab did. Go to the area, you know, G3, and then kind of turn out to H2, and then kind of go behind this island, and then do the same thing back. So kind of like a S motion, at least on this side. I think the Scharnhorst can do it. It does have pretty good maneuverability, especially for, you know, something that's like a battleship. So it is a very nice ship, and I think tier for tier, I think it's one of the best tier for tier ships, you know, in the game. Not the best, I think. I think you do have other competitors out there, but I do think this is one of the best tier for tier ships in the game. Premium wise, for sure, I think this is one of the best. And one of the best premiums in general. I think the amount of credits you can have and you can make from this ship is quite substantial, and you still get this nice lower tier matchmaking. And even if you do get up tiered, it's really not that bad. You know, the Scharnhorst is a very nice ship, and it does have some nice versatility. Now, of course, I was starting to mention a little bit earlier about shooting AP. For me personally, I shoot AP pretty much exclusively. The only time, and we'll see actually a little bit here in Fab's replay, we'll actually see some HE usage, and that's pretty much. I think Fab does a nice job as well. In my opinion, the only time you should really be using the HE is pretty much for bow on battleships, or if you do get up tiered, so things with heavily armored bows. So I'm talking like. Like Baltimore, for example, or the some of the German cruisers like the Rune. So those type of ships that have, you know, bows and are hard to pen bow on, I think that's a good time to use your HE. But other than that, I pretty much stick to AP. Your AP has enough pen, and the dispersion is good enough most of the time that you do get enough. Enough value out of the AP. Now, of course, you know, if you want to burn things down in the Scharnhorst, that's your prerogative, and that's how you want to play your ship. I'm just saying that I think the most effective way is to prioritize your AP usage and to, you know, use the HE when needed. Don't overuse the HE. And of course, there's always this, you know, this idea that, you know, HE, you can set fires and you get damage over time. That's fine, and that's good for bow-on ships. But when you're sitting broadside, don't be shooting HE. It is no point, even on a battleship. If a battleship is broadside, you might not be able to citadel them. However, you will still be doing substantial damage. Even showing a good amount of broadside, we're going to take a shot out at him. Let's see how this does. Then we see 8,300 damage and a citadel. So you can see a little bit of that extra pen there. That does help get into that citadel. So looking at this, another salvo out, another citadel, and 15k. This time a little bit better. The first shot looked like it was a little bit too, I think it was a little too low and too forward. You know, trying to judge the Cleveland speed, but the following salvo was a very nice salvo, and then this should obviously be the kill shot, assuming no one else takes it. Looks like we're actually going to get it. Hopefully, cross fingers, and we do. 2 pens, 3 overpens, probably more than was needed. So we're up to 2 kills, sorry, and 72k damage thus far in the Scharnhorst. So another thing that I also like about the Scharnhorst is the shell velocity. It's got this nice German shell velocity, and of course, German shell velocity isn't the best in the game. It's not Soviet, but of course, German battleship is certainly better than American battleship shell velocity, or even American shells in general. So that is also a nice perk. You do get pretty short travel times, which is of course nice, and it's much easier to hit your shells. And sometimes with the somewhat poor dispersion, like we kind of saw there on that Lion, it does help to be able to have your shells get there faster. And oh god, look at those 16 shells coming in. Oh boy, he didn't aim very well. Of course, when you angle the Scharnhorst in, like we saw briefly there, if you angle a Scharnhorst in like this and try and bait people to shoot your side, you do have enough maneuverability to actually turn right into those shells. And since you are a German battleship, you do have nice protective plating between your bow and the main armor belt. So you know, it's very difficult for a lot of ships to shoot you there. And into your main turret, number 1 turret, sorry. So you can get a lot of damage blocked by doing that. The secondaries, though, it's too short range, I think, and we're gonna take these torps, shoot. You can see 9 bounces. That is somewhat of a problem for the Scharnhorst with those 11-inch guns, but when you do shoot at the main armor belt of another battleship, you're almost expected to bounce. So another citadel there on the York, showing a little bit too much side. So I like this aggression. We saw some aggression on the Warspite. We knew that he couldn't really turn out, and he kind of did misplay. But here we wanted to charge down the line, or the York, excuse me. But we also noticed that he turned out. The York turned out, and obviously if we continue with the York, then we're going to be broadside to the Lion, or at least somewhat broadside to the Lion and somewhat broadside to the York. And of course that is not ideal. So we're going to disengage, especially since our heal has another 50 seconds and we're only on 14k HP, and that can be lost very, very quickly. So we're going to somewhat disengage, kind of turn away, and kind of run away and hopefully heal up. In the meanwhile, we're always shooting our guns and trying to take out enemy ships. In this position, it's okay, even on the amount of health that Fab has, it's okay to keep engaging here. If you were to get below probably 8k, I would say maybe consider disengaging, especially with something like a Lion and you're showing quite a bit of broadside. Obviously you have to be careful about that. But since this York has turned back in and he is against an island, we're going to open up our broadside, turn towards him, and we're going to hopefully get some nice citadels with our heal coming back up. I'm going to use that here, and we're going to take him out, hopefully. And there we go, 3 citadels, and that's a wrap. Goodbye, York, that tier 7 German, I guess somewhat heavy cruiser. It does have 210mm guns. So that was him saying goodbye, and we are currently waiting on a Kraken with 7 citadels. We also managed to get a Confederate high caliber and devastating strike thus far. So we're looking for the Kraken on this Lion here. We'll see if we can get it. So we're out of heals. We've played somewhat aggressively. I think with this ship, if you play ultra aggressive and you try and play like a Bismarck or Tirpitz, you won't succeed as much. The secondaries aren't as good, and the guns aren't as good either. However, if you do pick your moments like you should in a cruiser and be aggressive when you need to and passive when you also need to, then I think then this ship will suit you very well, and you'll see a lot of good results. Now here we switch to HE, and we can see Lion bow on. We're not 3k every I think 20 seconds we saw on the reload. it's not that great DPM. However, if we switch to HE and add some fire, damage over time, then that's where we can start seeing this nice DPM. Of course, it doesn't look like we're using Adrenaline Rush here. I would highly recommend Adrenaline Rush on the Scharnhorst. One, due to the fact that we're looking, okay, maybe 16 seconds here. If we are, either way, if we're not using Adrenaline Rush here, or we are, it is extremely recommended on this ship. This ship is one of those ships that you've got higher caliber guns, which is good. You've got decent DPM, which is also good. But the most important thing is you've got high caliber guns, and you can, if you any way to decrease the reload time of higher caliber guns to do more alpha damage, the better. And that's of course why I recommend Adrenaline Rush on things like the Scharnhorst. Battleships too, you know, since it is a percentage of your HP, it does, you know, kind of counteract, like the battleships don't take as much of effect from it as, let's say, a destroyer would. You know, you have to lose a lot more HP to get that same effect. But you know, the Scharnhorst doesn't have the most HP, which is good, but it does have the tankability and of course smaller caliber guns. So if you can get that stock reload down enough with the Scharnhorst, you can do some great things. So we do end up getting our crack in there. And unfortunately, we are out of heals. Otherwise, we probably have some more healing that we could do. It looks like we did take Superintendent for this match. I think I counted 5 heals, but you know, so be it. We were able to do 156,000, 3 times our, you know, about 3 times our ship's HP, and we still have 13k left over. So in my opinion, that's good usage, and this is a good replay thus far. Might be because of the very nice Arctic camo. We don't know. Maybe he's maybe Fab's hard to see or something. All white and a pretty blue and greenish sea, or greenish surroundings, I should say. Very nice salvo on that Lion. 5 pens. Some good accuracy at the long range and dispersion as well. I think that was that was probably 15 kilometers, I would say. So a very nice salvo on that tier 7 French battleship. So with only the Nagato left, and we're getting on our cap, and we still have a this is quite close. We don't know how much HP the Nagato's at. Since he has been over here, I'm going to assume he's maybe around half HP. Don't know. We'll have to see. I'm going to speed up the replay a little bit here. So we do have to be careful since we don't have any more heals, and we can see he's on 20k, so about a third of HP. So again, we're shooting HE here. This is good. Nagato's bow on, and you know, that's the perfect time to shoot HE, right? You know, especially when he's on such low health. You know, but as soon as he goes broadside, we switch to the AP. And one more perk that I want to talk about this on this battleship. It is the I believe it's called Expert Loader. It's the one that it cuts your reload time in half with switching shell types. I think this is a ship that, assuming you're fully loaded, I think this ship is one of those ships that is very, very good with that perk, and you use it to maximum effectiveness. So that is also another perk that I would say is a must-have on the Scharnhorst. Alright guys, so there was a nice replay there from the Scharnhorst, and we're looking at the post-battle results. I do apologize about the black screen around. Hopefully I can fix that in the video editing so you guys won't see that. But anyway, 451,000 credits earned, 5k XP, Confederate Devastating Strike, Fireproof, Dreadnought, Crack, and High Caliber. 6 medals. This is an amazing game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a pretty exciting game nonetheless. 177,000 damage, 128 shell hits, 2 torpedo hits, 7 ships killed, and 7 citadels. A little bit of secondary action as well. Team scored 2,746 base XP. That was a very, very nice game. And of course, our team did pretty well at... It was a nice middle ground, honestly. It was enough of potato play, but enough staying alive, so that there is actually some competition between the two teams. And we actually end up with a pretty close match, I would say. We're left on, I think, like 3,000 or 4,000 HP, and then obviously we don't know how much HP that KGV had, or or how many heals he had left. But he was also quite low the last time we looked. So, and as well as that DD. So, pretty close match by my standards, of course. But a very, very nice game on both sides. Detailed report. Very nice damage, 145,000 for 8 AP, and then about 10k for HE, and then fires nearly 10k. So I think this is a good distribution of how much AP/HE you should be using. If you've got, we're looking at 20k combined HE and fire, and about 140-ish, like a seventh. A seventh is a decent amount of ratio. So every 7k damage with AP, you're probably be getting about 1,000 damage in HE. Obviously, that's not a set in stone kind of thing, but I think this is a good example of how you should be playing the Scharnhorst and what ammo types you should shoot in what situations. Very nice potential damage, though. We're looking at 2.2 million potential damage. And, of course, we took a lot of damage. 97,000. Almost double the HP of our ship. 56,000 is base. And considering we had 97,000, almost 100k. And we used all our heals. So it was a very nice replay. We got a lot of ammo shot our ways. And we also did a lot of damage to the enemy team as well. Credits and XP wise, we're not running a premium account. That's fine. And even without a premium account, I would say this is a pretty good game. And we still making a good amount of credits. Like, look, for tier 7, 371,000 credits. It's awesome. We're not even using any multipliers for like any flags for credits, and I just want to point out, did have a premium account, you're making 600 grand. 600 grand, that's not as good as Missouri, but for a tier 7 battleship that costs maybe $40, $45, like, this is a good pickup, in my opinion, and that's why I think it's one of the best premiums you can pick up besides something like a Tirpitz or a excluding Missouri Musashi, or like a Kutuzov. It's unfortunately not on sale anymore, but this is one of the better premiums that you can buy. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. If you did, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, of course, and send in those replays. We try and watch them all, and we try and feature as many as we can. Just be aware that we do get a lot of replays sent in. So if yours doesn't make the cut, I do apologize, but other people also have very good replays. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and have a wonderful day.